You're listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series, and my name's Andrew Mackay-Smith. The interview subject that I've got coming up for you, his name is Cody Quistad, and he's in a band from the United States of America called Wage War. Now, the reason for the conversation is to promote the band's 2017 release, Deadweight. Let's have a listen to what the man has to say. Here we go. Deadweight is the new album, and I can really hear that many hours have been spent on its creation. So, what can you tell the listeners about it?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I mean, it's been a wild ride over the past couple of years, and starting with our debut album, Blueprints, just kind of got thrown into it, and that album really set us up for a lot of good things over the past couple of years. And I think Deadweight started pretty much immediately after that album came out, or we finished working on that album. So, I mean, all in all, I just think it's our best record, and I think it's one that we're all very proud of, and something that we all feel is the truest form of a Wage War record. So we couldn't be more excited to have it out, or coming out, should I say. Glad to have all the singles out that we have out right now. Everyone seems to really be enjoying them. So we're extremely excited. We're extremely pumped.
Sweet. Is there a theme or a concept to the album?
There's probably about two revolving themes on the album. One I would probably point out is probably like love loss and just like losing a relationship or a person that was really important to your life, and just kind of how the whole detachment process happens. And then the other one would be just kind of like internal struggle, and just things about yourself that you want to change, whether it's internal thing, or like insecurities, or how you deal with problems or addictions. Like, I'd say those are like the two revolving concepts as far as deadweight goes, and shedding the deadweight in your life, whether it's a person or a vice or a battle, or so on and so forth. But those are probably the two revolving concepts. There's a couple here and there songs, but I'd say those are like the main two themes.
Okay, and something that isn't about the album but is about the band is the band's name. Now, I mean, I don't know how long bands have been naming themselves for, but it must be about 80 years or so by now, mate. But I think you have one of the best band names I think I've ever heard. And obviously, mate, you're a band that has been formed only recently, I believe since 2010. But how did you come up with such a killer name?
Well, thank you so much. That's probably the highest compliment we've ever been paid on the name. I can give you the cool story, or I can give you the actual story. So
I've got to give us the actual.
The actual story would be all right. I'll give you that. I'll give you the insider exclusive. So we've been a band really since like all of us were around 15, 16. A lot of us are early 20s now. So we've been playing in bands together for a while. And when we really started to take the band seriously, the first thing you got to do is just like look into your name. We used to be a band called Empires, and we released like an EP and a couple singles underneath that name. That name was taken by another band from like Chicago, I believe. So then we decided we wanted to name the band War Within, which we thought was all checked out and good. And there's a lot of business processes that you go through to make sure that you can actually have a band name and that it's not taken. So while we were in the process of it, it was looking like it was going to be very promising. So our band we had these scrims made that would like stand in front of all of our gear with two big W's on them. And we didn't even we ordered them for a specific show. We had a big show with a Day to Remember, which was absolutely the biggest show we had ever played in our lives at that time. So we wanted to look awesome. So we ordered these scrims, and about a day or two before that show, we found out that War Within was already a taken name. So we were really bummed, first of all. And second of all, the scrims didn't even get there in time for the show. So fast forward to like 2 or 3 weeks down the line, we're stuck with these two WW scrims that we never got to use. And we were like, well, let's just see if we can like come up with a name around, two W's. and I think it was actually somebody's mom or something like that. Somebody said Wage War, and we were like, well, I don't hate it. And so, it kind of stuck. Like, we really liked the idea of having, I guess the grammatical term would be an alliteration of having the wah together. It kind of makes it roll off the tongue. It's kind of relatable to what we are as a band because, like, it's not, and by no means a political or actual war sense. It's more of, like, being a positive change, like wage war. Like, if you see something you don't like, be a change. So, it's kind of applicable to what we wanted to do as a band. And it's really the first name that everyone didn't hate, and that's kind of how we settled on it. So
okay.
I appreciate the compliment, though. That's very nice to hear.
Well, I listened to Jamie Jaster's podcast. You obviously know who Jamie Jaster is from Hatebreed, and he has Howard Jones from Killswitch Engage on the show quite a bit. And he's got, I wouldn't say it's a competition, but he's got a bit of a thing going on at the moment where the listeners can write in via whatever social media platform and suggest a new band name for Howard's name. And I thought, man, if that name wasn't available, I'd definitely suggest that one. So it's definitely one of the top 5 band names. It's actually...
Oh, well, thank you.
It's up there with Faith No More in terms of the band name itself. It just makes a lot of sense, and the alliteration thing I think is really cool, and the fact that it was one of the band members' mother that came up with it, mate, that's awesome. Good on her.
Yeah, we don't normally tell that story. We're always just like, yeah, we were just really searching for a good band name, and that was the first one to hit. So I think that's the first time I've ever actually let out how that actually happened, but. Yeah, it was somebody's mom. So.
All right, bit of a scoop. No, that's awesome, mate. Thanks for sharing that. Now, I understand. Of course. I understand you're going to be touring with Ewingsdale's very own Parkway Drive very soon. So, are you excited about the tour?
We actually just got home from that about a week ago.
Right. My apologies. Yeah. How was the tour then?
It was incredible. We had such a great time. Parkway Drive is a band that all of us grew up listening to. I remember specifically when Horizons came out, and that was just such a genre shaker. That was just like a metalcore staple, and most people will immediately classify us as metalcore. So I feel like touring with a band like that, I would dare say legends. It was just a blast every night to see them do their thing. Great guys. We had a really good time. It was only a week, so we didn't get a lot of time to hang out, but the interactions that we did have, they're just really nice guys, very down to earth, fun people to tour with. And The Word Alive was also on that tour, and we had a great time with them. So all in all, it was a slam dunk of a tour, and the only problem was that it wasn't long enough. So
yes,
we had
I did notice
time,
that. Though. Yeah, it was only about 8 dates, I think, from what I read.
Yeah, 7 or 8 dates, yeah. There was just a couple, it was all Northeast too. It was Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York. So very, very small amount of shows, but every single one of them was either sold out or very close to. So it was just a great time.
Cool. And when I first heard Wage War, I first thought, okay, these guys really get what August Burns Red have been doing over the years. And then I read that you toured with them in 2015. So what was that tour like? And did the lads in August Burns Red provide any advice?
Yeah, that was yet another. That was actually we've done a couple of we had done some beater tours by ourselves, just getting your bearings as a band and going out with friends' bands and playing for 5 people and so on and so forth. But August Burns Red was actually the second tour we ever did as a legitimate band, and it's the same concept. August Burns Red was really big influence on us growing up, specifically. The other guitarist in our band, Seth, it was his favorite band growing up, and I can remember us playing shows and he's wearing an August Burns Red shirt, and so I think it was kind of again just another wow moment for all of us to go out with a band that we had admired so much and taken so much influence from, as 16-year-olds, and here we are, 5 or 6 years later in life, and getting to play alongside them every night. And that was just an incredible tour for us. So yeah, that was, like I said, we've had a pretty insane first couple of years as a band. We're very fortunate and very thankful.
And you guys are from Florida, is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, Central Florida, specifically Ocala.
Okay, gotcha.
Not much here.
Okay, yeah. So I had a good chat to Aaron from Under Oath about this, and look, Florida. I'm a big fan of death metal, and I've spoken to a bunch of death metal bands over my time as a interviewer and podcaster and the like, mate. But Florida is a hotbed for death metal, and were you influenced at all by any of the sounds emanating from the region, such as Deicide, Obituary, Morbid Angel, Death, Cannibal Corpse? You know, all of the killer bands that come from the great state of Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely say that would be. I don't think any of those, at least for me personally. Our vocalist Britton is a really big metalhead, so I know Cannibal Corpse is a big one for him. So I definitely think, and I feel like his vocal style kind of transcends our metalcore classification. Like he does some pretty extreme vocals, both like low and high. So I feel like, yeah, I think it's, death metal and the bands that came up around here in Florida were definitely an influence on him, and he's definitely he's probably the most metal dude in our band as far as like what he listens to, and he's the one that's always telling us about bands and giving us like facts and stuff. So
Sweet.
I would definitely say that was an influence on specifically him, which obviously translates to us.
Yeah, cool. And mate, you do play guitar in the band and provide the clean singing. And mate, you can definitely sing. So I'm hearing a bit of a dashboard confessional influence, but I will ask you, who are your vocal inspirations?
Well, thank you. My vocal inspirations. Well, I mean, you just actually named one of them. Growing up, I was a massive Under Oath fan. And Aaron has always been, I would just like sit in my room and, he had those like high, perfect, like, those vocals. And I would just sit in my room, and if I couldn't get those notes, like I would work myself till I got them. So I'd say Aaron is a big one for me, and I've since been able to catch up with him a couple times. We played a couple of acoustic shows together, actually.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I think Aaron was a big one for me. Jeremy from Devil Wears Prada, Jeremy DeFoister.
Yep.
That's kind of like the era I grew up in. I know that's like, it's kind of weird to talk about because a lot of those bands are still bands, and you don't want to come off like a fanboy. But I guess I got to be honest. Like those are two really big ones for me. Yeah. So those are probably my biggest ones.
No, awesome, mate. Yeah. Well, no, I do want to compliment you again on your singing. I was listening to the record in the car, and mate, it came through very thick and strong. And it's not always easy to do what you do. I have played in a metalcore band once before, and look, I like to say that I'm Ringo in terms of the way that I supply the vocal. I don't do the high singing or the growling or anything like that, but I sort of provide the monotone backing vocal that occasionally is required. But mate, your vocal, mate, I think it's really it's good to hear that you're doing a bit of acoustic stuff, because I think that mate, just plant the seed now. No doubt you've already thought about it, but doing your own acoustic music with your own singing, mate, is something that I think you'd be very adept at doing, and I think you'd have quite a lot of people interested to get into it.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something down the road I would be psyched to do. I read a lot of like other stuff besides Wage War on the side, and a lot of times it goes everywhere from your acoustic singer-songwriter to I'm a big country music fan too, so I kind of all over. Like we're all kind of doing different things and trying different stuff. But yeah, I appreciate that, first of all. But yeah, I'm very I'm excited, and I think on the new record I kind of got to flex a little bit more vocally than perhaps on Blueprints, and had some time to like just like experiment with like what I could do with my voice. Like there's some grungier stuff, and then there's some like sweeter, softer stuff. So yeah, thank you very much. But I'm very excited on all that.
Cool. Yep. Okay, we're at the point in the interview now where I have 3 questions that I ask all of my interview subjects. So, mate, I want you to humour me here, and your answers can be as not safe for work as you like, because I do host an R-rated program. So here goes. Cody, describe yourself in 3 words.
Myself in 3 words. All right. Sexy. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna go with Ginger. I'm a redhead, and that's usually one of the first things people say to either my detriment or to compliment me. So Ginger is gonna be one. Oh man,
Cool.
Ginger. This is hard. This is a really hard question.
It's a stumps people.
Usually
People don't
I just
expect
talk
it.
about the band, not myself. No, I don't. Oh man, this is so hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm literally trying to think of anything that's applicable.
Well, you'll have a good answer then, I can tell.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to take up a lot of time. I'd say I'm Ginger. I am. I'm thankful. There we go. Yeah, I'll say I'm thankful.
Thankful.
And he says I can have R-rated answers. Those are too positive and too nice. Ginger, thankful, and dude, this is so hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the hardest question I've ever had to answer.
Cool.
Last one's gonna be. We'll just go with Ginger and thankful. That's about all I got.
All right. That's all good.
It's soulless. Let's go along with Ginger and say soulless.
Okay, soulless. Okay, Ginger, thankful, and soulless. All right. Now, the next question's even more of a curveball, to be honest, but here we go. Okay. Mate, if you could go back and give yourself some advice when you were 18, what advice do you think you'd give yourself?
Dude, I am not ready for these questions right now. You said I could go back and give myself advice at 18. Man, I got some like real dark advice that I probably will pass on, but I would probably say don't blow it. That's my number one advice to myself.
All right. No worries, mate. Okay, final question. Here we go. What 5 guests, living or dead, from any time in history, would you invite to a dinner?
From any point in history. Wow, this is terribly hard. I would probably... Man. All right. I would love to have a dinner with Alan Jackson. He's a country music singer.
Yes.
I would love to have dinner with Alan Jackson.
Yep. You got 4 more to go.
Sorry, those weren't more fun. Oh, I got 4. I got 4 of them.
Yeah. Oh, you got 5. You got 5 in total.
Jackson, number 1. Oh, I got 5. Okay. Alan Jackson's one of them. God, this is so hard. I'm gonna say Corey Taylor, Slipknot. Would love to eat dinner with that dude. Christopher Walken.
Cool, a good one.
Actor. I got 2 more. Michael Jackson. Would love to have dinner with Michael Jackson. That could be tight.
Yep.
And my last one's gonna be like a world leader somewhere or like a important person. So let's go with.
Whoa, the call just cut out, so I'll try and catch up with Cody again sometime in the future and get the answer to that question there. So you've been listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series, and my name is Andrew Mackay-Smith. That interview subject was Cody Quistad from the outfit Wage War. Thanks so much for listening.